Thank you very much, and I want to start by thanking all of you here today for the work that you do, you and all your fellow UNISON activists and workplace reps across the country. The work that you do makes me proud to be a member of the Labour Party and a trade union member too, because you stand in solidarity with your colleagues and give them confidence and dignity at work. You provide the health care and local community services that we all rely on from cradle to grave. And you champion and defend the public service ethos that is so important to all of us as members of the Labour Party and important to all the people we work for and with and represent. And that has never been so important as right here, right now, when we have another 5 years of this Tory government, which will seek to attack the public services we all depend on, the public services that give young people chances and opportunities in life, the public services that all our elderly and disabled mums and dads and relatives depend on. I really want to thank you, though, in particular, for two of the most important things you did over the last Parliament. Firstly, fiercely opposing the Tories' Health and Social Care Act, which has wrought such damage on the NHS. We fought shoulder to shoulder with you on this, and I wish we'd been in government now to repeal that act and to get rid of the problems that it's caused, but we can't. And that is because we faced such a catastrophic defeat at the election, and I'll come back to that in a moment. The second thing I want to thank you for, which I think is the most important thing that you've done, is the UNISON Ethical Care Charter. I have seen the difference that this has made right across the country. It's about one of the biggest challenges we face as a country, our ageing population, and how we make sure people can live with dignity and respect, and that our care workers are paid a decent way to get the skills and training that they need and deserve. And I've already pledged that as Labour leader and Prime Minister, I will make that UNISON Ethical Care Charter work across the country and end the exploitation of care workers and the scandal of low pay in this vital sector. But we can't do this if we are not in power. Do you remember seeing that exit poll on the night of the election? Do you remember how you felt when you saw it? The scale of the defeat? You did. There was great results here in Manchester, but across the country, we failed. There are now only 24 seats with a Tory majority of less than 3,000. We've got to win back 94 to form the next government. And that means we cannot stick with what we've been saying and doing over the past 5 years. We must change our party to win in 2020 and change the country. You know, I grew up near Watford. We held that seat from 97 to 2010. It now has a stonking 10,000 Tory majority. We have to win back seats in those areas if we're going to make the changes we all want and need. And that must mean that we must regain people's trust on the economy, and that we must set out a positive vision of a better life that everyone can feel part of. We didn't do that at the last election. We must if we're going to win again, because without that we cannot make all the changes we want and need. We have to change to win, and the question we have to ask is, who is the best person to win in 2020, take on the Tories and defeat them? I believe I'm that candidate. Thank you. Thank you. The painful truth is we lost the election because we lost touch with too much of the country. People didn't trust us on the economy or with their taxes, and we didn't have a positive alternative of a better life that everyone could feel part of. We've had our worst defeat since 1987, and things could get worse with the boundary review and with UKIP being second place in so many parts of the country. And the scale of this challenge means we cannot stick with what we've been saying for the last 5 years, or with what's comfortable and familiar, or with just a little bit of change. We must face the challenge head on, turn the page, and make a fresh start. And I'm standing to be Labour's first woman leader and Prime Minister, because I believe your chance of fulfilling your potential should never depend on where you're born, what your parents did, your gender, sexuality, or the colour of your skin. And that's the only way we'll create a strong economy and fairer society where everyone can succeed. I champion great businesses and sound public finances, because without that we can't create the good jobs or invest in the public services people need. And I believe in solidarity, that through the strength of our common endeavour, we achieve more than we do alone. So we've got to work with every part of society, our councils, schools, businesses and unions, to create the opportunities of the future. We've got to get power out of Whitehall and down to our cities, towns and counties to drive our national renewal. And we must be an open, confident, modern party that engages with the rest of the world. We're members of the Labour Party because we're angry about injustice. We're not satisfied with the world. We're hungry for change. But we must offer people a chance and not simply a grievance. I won't always say what's comfortable for our party, but I will say what I think is right, and I'll be the leader the Tories fear. Together, let's change our party, win in 2020 and change the country. Thank you.
Very nice.